Hi, I welcome you in this part 7 of the series How It Works on Electrical Engineering. So, this part is about revolutionary alternating current. Now, why the word revolutionary has been used? So, this is the reason Mr. Nikola Tesla, the left hand picture is of Mr. Nikola Tesla, and the right hand one is of Thomas Edison. So Nikola Tesla by birth was an Austrian. He studied physics, electrical and mechanical engineering without receiving a degree because he was a dropout. He was a dropout. In 1884, he went to US for a short period. He worked in Edison Machine Works in New York. And then Thomas Edison was his boss. Thomas Edison, who had brought DC current and was also running DC power stations. So that there was his monopoly. And at that time, in 1882, when he started generating DC current and started supplying houses with DC current, then there was a monopoly, and even US had standardized DC in America. So Nikola Tesla had the revolutionary idea of bringing in AC as against DC. He wanted to bring alternating current in place of DC. So naturally there was a resistance from Mr. Thomas Edison because he had introduced DC and was considered as the single person or single source of electricity at that time. So Westinghouse Electric Company, who was actually the rivals of Edison Electric Company, they hired the services of Mr. Nikola and they backed him up for all his revolutionary ideas of alternating current, then polyphase motors, and they licensed all his patents on AC generation as well as AC induction motors. So they backed him up with money. On the other hand, Thomas Edison, who had brought in DC current, had many key patents in his name and was controlling power supply to entire US. So he was strongly opposing the idea of distributing AC instead of DC. Both of them were into a very bitter war which went into history as the bitterest war among two scientists. Both of them were into a very bitter war, popularly known as War of Currents. Then in 1893, a big Columbian composer exposition was planned in Chicago in 1893. And the contract, instead of going to Thomas Edison Company, it went to Westinghouse. And the contract was to illuminate as well as power the Columbian exposition, largest in the world at that time. So these are the pictures of that exposition, which was the largest in the world at that time, and as many as 2 lakh bulbs had to be illuminated. And why I have used the word revolutionary? Because in this particular exposition in 1893, for the first time, as many as 2 lakh bulbs were illuminated using alternating current. More properly, alternating current of Nikola Tesla for the first time. And from that day onwards, from that moment onwards, the DC started declining. The DC power stations started declining. After that, the use of DC slowly declined. However, this hold was so strong that the last DC power station in New York City was stopped as late as 14th November 2007. It started declining in 1893, and after so many years in 2007, the last DC power station was stopped. So you can imagine. And as I have mentioned about the bitter war among them, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, it has gone down into history as a war of currents. And it was so big war, and it was so dramatic in nature that even a picture, a movie was released. And the name title of the movie was The Current War. This was released in 2017, and Benedict Cumberbatch, he worked as Thomas Edison, and Nicholas Hoult as Nikola Tesla, and Michael Shannon as George Westinghouse. So this was released in 2017. However, Edison had an innovation factory. People say that he has 1093 patents in his name as against 300 patents of Tesla, Nikola Tesla. So let us see what is this alternating current and why the word revolutionary once again, that after that, today there is not a single area or location where the DC is fed. If at all DC is required, as I have said in my earlier parts, that DC is used extensively in houses. But even if the DC is required, then you can convert AC into DC with a rectifier. One more reason why people preferred AC over DC is that the limitation of DC. When you supply DC to an area from the DC power station, then the farthest location away from the plant can be 2 kilometers. Whereas with AC, since the step up and step down is not possible easily and economically in DC, it is very much possible easily and economically in AC with the help of transformer. So when the AC came, the transformers also followed it, and with the transformers today, the power which you are receiving in your house, it might be getting generated 2000 kilometers away from your home or location. So that is the power or importance of AC over DC. It is very economical. So it became very famous because of its advantage and the major disadvantage of DC, that the farthest point where you can supply energy is only 2 kilometers, and in this case it can be thousands of kilometers. So how the current gets generated? In fact, when in my earlier part 5 I think, when I told about the DC generation, DC current generation, even that current when it gets generated, it is AC in nature. But with the use of slip ring, it is converted into DC. This we have seen already, that between two magnets, if the conductors are rotating, then the electricity gets generated. And the direction of the electricity is shown by the Fleming's right hand rule. The middle finger will show you the direction of the current. And with that, we have known that the conductor which is under North Pole or nearer to North Pole, it is passing the North Pole, then the current going away from you will get generated, and if it is under South Pole or near South Pole, then the current coming towards you will get generated. This we have already seen in part 5, and how the current coming out and going out is to be remembered, that also we have seen. Now we will see that how the AC, in fact this DC which we call it DC is also, while when it gets generated, it is in the form of AC only, but with the use of slip ring and commutator, it is converted into DC. So now in earlier example, the magnets were stationary and the conductors were rotating. Now it is ulta. Now the magnet is rotating and conductors are stationary. If a rotary magnet cuts the conductor, then also the result is the generation of current. And that again it depends on Fleming's right hand rule. Because in this case, if you see, the magnetic force lines will be from north pole, they will be emerging out from the north pole, and then from bottom it will get enter into south pole. On left hand side also it will emerge from the north pole, go down and enter the south pole. So here also if you apply the Fleming's right hand rule, you will see that the current coming towards you will get generated in the conductor which is under north pole, and current which is leaving you or going away from you will get generated in the conductor which is under south pole. So if it rotates by 90 degree, then no current will be generated because there is no flux. There is no flux in between north and south pole. So there will be no current. Then once again, when the south pole comes, the reverse current will get established into current. And if you look at the right hand side of the your screen, then you will see a waveform. When north pole comes near the conductor, the highest voltage will appear and then it will slowly become zero. Then once again on the negative side it will increase, minus side, once again it will become zero. So the current is changing its direction with respect to time. On the x-axis there is time, and the degrees also written 90 degree, 180 degree and 360 degree. This 360 degree is one complete rotation. Okay. So now, if suppose on the left hand side you are seeing the sinusoidal waveform, this is how the current gets generated in alternating current. So in the first half, it is the positive sine wave. In the first half of the sinusoidal waveform, it is positive Vm, V voltage maximum. When the north pole is under the conductor, the maximum voltage gets generated. And then it slowly becomes zero. Then once again when the south pole approaches near that conductor, the polarity changes, the current polarity changes and the direction changes. So on the negative side it reaches to the maximum when south pole is exactly under the conductor. And then once again when the south pole leaves it, it slowly becomes zero. So if the middle line, if you see, it is zero potential, and there are three dots which indicate zero potential. So in one cycle, this is called one cycle. So in one cycle, there will be three zero potentials appearing in the wire. So the voltage will become zero thrice in one cycle. And if the rotation is complete in 1 second, one rotation is complete in 1 second, then we will say that the frequency is 1 hertz. Hertz is the unit of measure for frequency. So if the frequency is 1 hertz, then one cycle will get completed in 1 second. Okay. And now if this is the supply to your household socket, and if you connect a bulb there, then what will happen? If the supply is of 1 hertz, the frequency is 1 hertz, then the current will change direction. Once it will be from red to black, then in the next half, when it reaches to, in the first half, when it is increasing in positive side, the current will flow from red wire to black wire. And in the negative cycle, you look at the arrow, the negative cycle, it will flow from black wire to red wire. So every time, in every cycle, the direction of flow of current in the bulb changes twice, and on 3 occasions the bulb will become dark since the voltage is 0. Okay, so now if we put on the bulb, if we put on the switch and the bulb is made on at this frequency, then it will glow, then it will become dark, then once again it will become bright, once again it will become dark. So this dark and brightness, it will keep on going. You can notice it that the bulb is getting dark and once again it is brightening. So it will go off. So with this you cannot work. If the bulb behaves like this, you cannot work. So what is done? So practically when we see, the bulb never becomes dark in our house. The reason behind it is that the supply which is given to us is 230 volt 50 hertz. So in 1 second 50 cycles are completed. So current is changing direction 100 times in 1 second. And also that 150 times the bulb is getting dark or no power. But since it is flickering at a very high speed, our human eye cannot make it out. Like the movie we see in theater. Actually the films are revolving from against the lens or moving against the lens. But we cannot make it out. We see it as a continuous movie. Similar is the action here. The bulb is getting closed 150 times in 1 second. So the frequency is very high and therefore you see that the glow of the light continuous, in continuation. So but the magnets rotate at 3000 RPM. What is RPM? Rotations per minute. So the rotation which I have shown you in the earlier slide. So this rotation is 3000 RPM, 3000 rotations per minute. Or if you take it per second, then 50 revolutions or rotations per second. And therefore the supply specification is 230 volt 50 hertz. And in America it is 110 volt 60 hertz. Okay. So per second. So current inside the bulb will change direction 100 times in a second. Hence a human eye cannot catch it. But bulb does become dark 150 times in a second. And in alternating current, this black wire which I have shown, it need not be black because there is no positive negative in alternating current. Positive negative is attached to DC, direct current. There is no positive negative in electric current. In AC current, alternating current, there is phase and neutral. So the left hand side it is phase, the right hand side is neutral where the black wire is connected, and the upper one, the bigger hole, is for earthing, which is for the human safety. So if at all there is any leakage in the equipment, the fuse will blow or the MCB will trip and the human beings inside the house will be safeguarded. So I was talking about the black wire, which is neutral. When I say neutral, it is a zero potential. If you look at the sinusoidal waveform on the left side, then this is the condition of the neutral, zero. There is no voltage in it. But you will appreciate that when in red wire, suppose the voltage is on positive side, then the current will flow from positive to negative, positive to neutral. Okay, but when the polarity in the red wire changes, it becomes negative, then the current will flow from neutral to positive phase, neutral to phase. So in first half the current is flowing from phase to neutral, and now it is flowing from neutral to phase. So it is continuously changing. And now I will explain it with the help of a water analogy. Suppose there is an empty tank and there is a water filled tank, the tank which is filled with water, and you connect it with a tube, flexible tube. And then if the water tank is at higher level, then the water will flow from filled tank to empty tank. From this filled tank, the water will come to this tank. But now suppose if we oscillate it up and down, then when the tank goes down, the flow will be from empty tank to closed tank. When it goes up, it will be from filled tank to close empty tank. When it goes down, it will be from empty tank to full tank. That is how the phase and neutral relationship is there. So neutral of electricity, or yes, neutral, it is like a empty water tank which is located on the ground, and the water filled tank is oscillating up and down in the, so potential energy is changing. So water tank's analogy, electrical neutral wire is like the empty tank at zero potential. But when it goes down, there will be flow of water from ground to underground. Okay, that is how it is. So at times the current is from towards empty tank, at times it is away from empty tank. Okay, that is the analogy. And thank you very much for watching this video with patience. And if you have liked this video, then of course press the like button and also subscribe to the channel, because many more videos are going to get uploaded very soon. Before this video, I have already uploaded 6 videos on electrical engineering. Okay, it covers right from the atom structure and how the electron flow is reversed to current flow, and all this is covered. DC, AC, what is insulator, what is conductor, and then what is the static electricity, what is dynamic electricity, DC, AC, everything is covered, working of a battery. So please watch those videos also, and of course if you like it, then subscribe for this channel. Thank you, have a nice time and take care.